Hello, everyone! Welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 113. Andrew Eisen here, along with Zachary Knight. Hello, Zachary.
Hello, Andrew. Hello, everybody out there.
It's so hot. Summer sucks, man.
Get an AC, man.
I have AC, but it's loud. It's also expensive.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So we were talking a little bit before the show about our favorite course in Super Mario 64. I think I might have to go with Peach's slide.
Yeah.
I love a lot of levels from that game, but I had a ton of fun with the slide. But Zachary, of course, is not a real gamer. He's
No.
a fake gamer guy who hasn't played Super Mario 64.
That's all right. I actually haven't played a Mario game since Super Mario World. I never played Yoshi's Island, and 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 I never got around to playing Sunshine or Galaxy. I guess I've played New Super Mario Brothers on the Wii, and then I played all the Mario lands on the Game Boy. But,
I've made this statement before, but here's a statement that kind of rankles a couple Mario fans. I think Sunshine is better than both Galaxy games. I like the Galaxy games, don't get me wrong, but I just enjoyed Sunshine more.
Sunshine, yeah, from what I've seen, Sunshine is one of the most different Super Mario Brother games. Yeah, because just using the gun as one of your primary tools and everything, I think that's kind of sets it apart from all the rest.
Well, the flood gun and the kind of tropical theming, because typically anytime you're in a Mario game, you're going to see the same. You're going to see the lush green world, with rolling hills and stuff. The Mushroom Kingdom. You're going to see a desert. You're going to see a snow world. You're going to see a fire world. All the standard stuff. Not so much in Sunshine, which I've heard levied as a criticism against the game, but also as a positive. You're on a tropical island resort, so there's no snow level. There's the main town that's more of a hub, really, but there's kind of the green rolling hills zone. There's the harbor with shipping crates and stuff like that. There's a theme park level. There's that really crappy pachinko level that everybody hates, and for good reason, because it controls like crap. There isn't really a lava world. I mean, the very last approach to Bowser goes through lava, but there's no real like lava world. Oh, there's a ghost house, which is a standard of the games at that point, certainly. But yeah, I love Sunshine. Yeah. Flood, the character Flood is stupid. The story behind the game is actually genuinely painful to watch. I mean, like you will physically react. You will physically recoil from the game. You'll go, the game is hurting.
Nice. Yeah. See it. Mario
Bowser lies to his son and says, "Peach is your mother," and Peach is like, "I am." It's like, what is wrong with you, lady? No. And later, Bowser Jr. is like, Bowser says to his son, he says, Peach isn't really your mother. And Bowser Jr. is like, yeah, Dad, obviously, I knew that. I was just playing along because I was really embarrassed for you. So Peach apparently was literally that was the dunderhead who's like, she's your mother. I am? There's some writing.
Oh. Yeah. And of all the console console Mario Brother games I've played, Super Mario World is the only one I've ever actually beat.
Have
Yeah,
you played any of the RPGs, like the first
I
Super Mario's or any of the Mario and Luigi
just
stuff?
Mario RPG, The Legend of Seven Stars or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only Mario RPG I've played.
What was
I
that?
wanted to play Paper Mario and
Uh,
uh, and then the
the
Mario and Luigi games on the
the
DS.
first one is great. The second one, Thousand Year Door, is phenomenal. It's really super good. Super Paper Mario is fine. It's one of those games where it's 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 a good game in and of itself, but being
Yeah,
the second sequel, it's not what you wanted.
yeah,
So it does it ends up kind of being disappointing in the way that it's not what you wanted it to be, but for what it is, it's okay.
yeah,
um Sticker Star I never finished because it's just not very good. And Paint Bucket Smash, the one on the Wii U, man,
yeah,
gorgeous looking game, but haven't played it yet.
yeah. I did play Mario Teaches Typing,
Oh, there
so
you go.
there's that one. Yeah,
So so I was looking at Zelda Breath of the Wild again today, and
just
I was
looking at it,
well, I was
wondering.
playing around on the Great Plateau because I'm still trying to figure out if I want to do a series of bad Breath of the Wild videos.
Yeah.
And one of my criticisms, because I've been writing the script for a while, and one of my criticisms, which I talked about last week, is the game doesn't communicate how to cook, and
Hmm.
I feel it should long
Yeah.
before it actually does. Um, and so I wrote the script, and I was wandering through the game, capturing some footage, and so my whole beef was some of the ways you can protect against the cold is you can cook stuff, which will provide a cold buff, protect against the cold if you cook the right ingredients. And you could wear warm clothing. Well, the problem with these is at the very beginning of the game hasn't actually taught you how to cook. And the problem with the clothing is there's no hint as to where any could be, if there even is any, up on the Great Plateau where you start. Um, the game does tell you to drop stuff in an open fire to enhance its effects. And it teaches you that very well. So, as I explained last week, I grabbed the pepper, I found an open fire, I dropped the pepper on, it poofs into a charred pepper. I walk all the way back to the snowy area, pop the pepper, and it doesn't work. I'm like, what the hell? Okay, so that doesn't count as cooking? Apparently not.
Yeah.
So there's a cabin up on the plateau somewhere. And if you go inside before you beat all the shrines, you will find a diary from the old man which says, I have found an awesome recipe, uh, which was raw meat, a pepper, and something else. I can't remember. Oh, but it protected me against the cold. If someone could tell me what the hell that third ingredient is, I would give them a winter coat. Aha! So we have a quest. We have some direction. If you would just so happen to stumble upon this cabin, um, which is not terribly hard to do, but
Yeah.
because to get to one of the shrines, you're probably going to walk past it. I didn't the first time I played the game because I just tried climbing straight up a cliff towards the shrine, and it turned out it was cold up there. There was no snow. There was just grass. I figured that it's only cold where it's snowy. Not the case.
Yeah.
So I figured, oh, this shrine on the cliffside is in the cold, so I can't get to it now. I need to figure out how to defend against cold. If if it was only cold where it's snowy, I would look at the shrine and say, oh, the shrine is not in the snow, so it's not in the cold. I'll walk around the base of the cliff and climb up a non-snowy side. And if I had done that, I would have seen the cabin and gone
Yeah.
inside and read the diary and found the quest for both a cooking food item and the warm doublet, or however that's pronounced. Doublet. I have no idea, really.
Yeah.
So Here's your clue. There are 3 ingredients: meat, um, pepper, and X. The uh, the fourth clue is the name of the dish is spicy meat and fish. What do you think the third ingredient is? Okay, so the game still hasn't actually taught you how to cook, but if you walk out of the cabin, there is a cooking pot with a fire under it, literally right in front of the, right outside the front door. So you
Yeah.
will probably figure that out without instruction. So meat. Okay, well there are some critters, birds and stuff running around. Hit it with a bow and arrow. And it's a drumstick. There's your meat. Fish. There's some bodies of water. Chuck a bomb in. You can actually swim over fish and just pick them up, or chuck your bomb in the water and blow them up and grab fish. Okay, so you run back to the pot. You put the stuff in. You create the seared meat and fish dish. Aha! I've done it. Okay, now you run back to the camp to show off to the old man. And you talk to him. No, he's there. You talk to him, but there's no option to actually show him the dish. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, So I think about the diary again. He says, if someone could show me the missing ingredient, I'm like, aha. So I just drop a fish right at his feet. That doesn't work either. I eat the dish in front of him. Nope. I drop all 3 ingredients in the fire in front of him. No. And I'm like, how are you so... I mean, I have the dish, so I could defend against the cold and just go for the shrine. But
yeah.
How are you supposed to show this off to him to get the coat? And I finally figured out that at night, he sits by the cooking pot in front of the cabin. So if you're there during the day, you will never know. There's nothing that indicates that he actually does that. But he's over there at night, and if you talk to him over there, you have the option. If you have the thing in your inventory, you have the option to show it off, and he'll give you the warm coat. Also, if you talk to him over there, he will teach you specifically how to use a cooking pot.
So you have to get there. You have to stumble across this place at the right time in order to learn how to do something as simple as cooking, as necessary as cooking.
Yeah, so I'm glad to see that the game actually does teach you how to cook in the area you kind of want to know how to do it. But man, you have to stumble upon the right place at the right time in order to do. It's really weird. I still think just either having him specifically say something like, hey, come visit me at my cabin at night and I'll teach you some cool survival stuff. Something,
Yeah.
Or put a cooking pot by the first camp and teach me how to do it there, because that can not always. It really depends on what path you decide to take through the game, but depending on what path you take, that can lead to needless frustration.
Yeah.
So, Matthew, yes, I've been playing Yakuza Kiwami 2. In fact, it's paused right now, right there. Chaos also points out that putting a fire sword on your back will protect you from the cold. That's true. If you have any elemental weapon, that will, ice weapons will cool them down, and fire weapons will warm them up. Same with carrying a torch or a burning branch or something like that. As far as I know, there's no fire weapons up on the Great Plateau, so that doesn't really matter. Again, I'm not saying that it's impossible to do. I mean, you could always just... You have an inventory full of apples and Hylian weeds and stuff. You can just make a run for the shrine and gobble apples as you go to keep your health topped up. It's not like you're ever going to be permanently stuck or anything. I just think that the game could do a little bit better job of explaining the rules.
Yeah. Addicted to Chaos says the whole point is that you create your own adventure. Well, it's kind of hard to create your own adventure when you don't know the basics of the gameplay.
Right. And the adventure that I created for myself was needlessly frustrating. Because when I was trying to get to the snowy area, I had 2 shrines left. So I was going for the one on the snowy mountain. It's like, oh, it's cold. Okay, well, there were peppers right outside, so I just popped one, didn't work. And I read the description again. I said, oh, you have to cook it. So I drop it in the fire, and I run back, and I'm in the cold, and I eat it. Still doesn't work. I'm like, what the hell? Um, so I climb up to the other one, and it's not in the snow, but it's cold. I'm like, oh, so they're both in the cold, one of which I have to climb to. So using a torch isn't going to work because you can't climb with a torch out, and I have no way to light a torch at this point, so I can't just climb up and then relight the torch. So I need to figure out the cooking thing, or happen across a winter coat. Um, so so it was needlessly frustrating. Now, of course, I came into the game with the knowledge of cooking pots. I'm more looking at it with just looking at it from the perspective of someone who didn't know these things. Now, once I found a cooking pot, I knew exactly how to use it because I watched all 8 hours of Nintendo's E3 presentation. But I just think a simple tweak of put a cooking pot by the first camp. That's it. That's about it. Also include an instruction manual. Explain a few things like, the temperature and sneak meter and weather meter. It's not like they're completely obtuse, but they're never referenced. Well, when you first walk into the cold, the temperature meter kind of pulses with a little bit of a glow, but it never actually explains how to read it. You might actually think that that's a thermometer or an ambient temperature gauge. It's not.
Yeah.
It links body temperature, which is an important distinction.
Yeah.
And I don't really need the game to stop cold and explain it to me. I would have been fine with a digital manual. Of course, the game does stop cold.
Physical manual.
Yeah, or a physical manual, preferably. The game does stop cold to teach you what the physical controls are. Although I could be wrong about this, but I don't think it actually ever teaches you how to sneak. I think you'll probably just accidentally click in the left thumbstick and Link will duck, and you'll get a little pop-up that says, "This is how you sneak." I'm like, oh, well, gee, thanks.
Yeah.
And anyway, is Breath of the Wild a bad game? No, not at all. It just has a few design decisions that I find were probably could have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like don't start raining if I'm climbing a cliff. Just paint cliff sides with "don't start raining." There's a meter that forecasts weather, and it was 20 hours before I even really noticed it because I saw it. I just didn't know what it meant, so I didn't pay any attention to it. And then I realized it was a rotating weather forecast. Except at least one of the icons, I think it's supposed to be the sunny icon, except it looks like a snowflake. And it's sunny even at night. So it's weird. I still haven't really totally quite figured out the weather forecast meter.
Well, if it's sunny at night, then it's probably just referring to clear skies.
Whoops. I must have you muted or something. There we go.
Not muted.
No, that was I bumped the thing.
Okay. But I was saying that if it's the indicator is sunny and it's still and it shows that at night, then it's probably just indicating clear skies and not.
I think that, but it looks like a snowflake.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, it's not snowing, so I guess I don't know what that means, and then I ignored it.
Yeah.
Leaf is talking about how much rain there is, and yeah, it rains, God, at least once a day. Now, to be clear, it's some of the best video game rain I've ever seen. Truly is. It is an artistic marvel. It feels wet, but oh my God, it rains too much.
Yeah. Speaking of rain, we've had like nonstop rain this past week.
Have you?
Yeah, and we have some bad drainage issues, and we've got this nice, like 2-foot wide cut all the way down our driveway, and it's about some places it's about a foot thick, and it's just where the rain just washed down our driveway and cut through, and I'm not sure what we're gonna do about that because we can't really drive our cars down our driveway anymore because of that, and it's terrible.
One of my here's another funny story from Breath of the Wild. I don't remember if I told this one yet, but there's a town, Hokkaido Village or something like that. I don't know. But I'm walking around the town and talking to the people, and they're saying, "Hey, see Mount Lianryu over there?" I'm like, yeah. They say there's like a big monster on that mountain. I'm like, ooh. I'm talking to other people and say, "Hey, you see Mount Lianryu over there?" I'm like, yeah, big monster. I'm like, no, there's like these trees on top that form a line and point to a treasure. I'm like, ooh. And I hear that there's like 2 or 3 neat things up on this mountain. I'm like, well, I bought a winter coat when I was in Kakariko Village. And so I'm all prepared for this snowy mountain. So I run on over to the mountain, which takes longer than it should because Link doesn't run very fast. I put on my best climbing gear, which makes Link climb ever so slightly faster. I don't remember if it makes him climb faster or just makes his stamina better. But so I got my climbing gear on, and I'm climbing up the mountain, which still takes forever. And I get up past the snow line, and Link starts shivering. So I'm like, "Ha! I've got you this time, snowy area." And I throw on my winter coat, and Link is still shivering. And I'm like, what? The warm doublet is not warm enough. Damn it, Breath of the Wild. It took me 10 minutes of my life to walk over here and climb up here in my warm coat, which I spent 130 rupees on or whatever in Kakariko Village, isn't warm enough for you? Ah! That was... I guess I'll go somewhere else. I guess I must get a warmer doublet somewhere.
I guess, or maybe you need to wear that and eat that that fish and pepper dish. Yeah, you need level 2 cold protection.
Yeah, I figured it was just binary. It's cold, not cold. If it's cold, you wear a coat, or you wear a coat. You're good in the cold. I didn't realize there were gradients of cold. I mean, I think I'm pretty sure I double checked that item description. There's nothing in about the item description that says will protect you from slight chill or anything that indicates that this is a light winter coat and not a heavy winter coat. Whatever. I mean, at that point in the game, you've wasted 10 minutes walking over there, but at least you can just, okay, I'm not ready for this area. I'll go somewhere else. Plenty other places to go. In the Great Plateau, though, when the Shrine in the Cold is the only place you have left, you can't just go somewhere else. You have to figure out how to get there. So that can be kind of annoying. There's this other shrine that's actually near there. There's this shrine on a little island out in the ocean somewhere. And this is probably my major problem with the game is just Link's speed. It takes the world. He is way too slow for the size of the world he exists in. So there's this shrine on an island out in the middle of the water. Okay, how do you get there? Well, you could swim at it, and you could just keep scarfing stamina restorative items so that you don't drown on the way out there. I've never timed it, but man, that would take a long time to swim all the way out there. Link, like running, he does not swim very fast. You could use your Cryonis power, which you can create these ice blocks and just create like stepping stones, but likewise, that would take a really long time to actually get all the way out there. There's a boat nearby, and if you have a Korok leaf, you can stand on the boat and fan the sail, which totally doesn't work, but to drive the boat. The old cartoon staple of bolting a fan to the boat to blow into the sail.
Yeah,
That doesn't work.
No,
Equal
it
and
doesn't.
opposite reactions. It's pushing against itself. It's just going to sit there. But whatever, it's a video game. So you can take the boat out there, and that would be slightly quicker. It still takes a while, though. But probably the way the game wants you to do it, and certainly the most fun, is to climb up the mountain over there and hang glide to the island, which takes a surprisingly lengthy. It's probably like a solid 90 seconds at least of hang gliding. You're like, yeah, I can see my house from here. Yeah, oh my god, it's still going. you know, um, which is a lot faster than any other travel
Yeah.
until you factor the amount of time it takes you to climb up that damn cliff in the first place. So it might actually be faster to swim. But once you get out there, you can warp back anytime you want to go.
Yeah.
Dishes can combo with the sweater too. Yeah, I figured they probably could, but I didn't happen to have any uh, cold resistant dishes on me at the time. Womp womp.
Yeah.
So oh well. Um, you can go super fast by fanning the boat. You just have to time it right, I suppose. Okay. I am talking about Eventide Island. Sorry, I didn't memorize the name, but
Yeah.
it's one of the best, if not the unique. Is it? Isn't isn't that the shrine that just has a single enemy in it? Or are we thinking about different places? Because it seems to me that there's that shrine on the island, and then there's a shrine at the top of the cliff that you can jump off of to hang or paraglide to the island. I think one shrine is like a powerful enemy, and one shrine is like a less powerful version of the same enemy. Unless I'm thinking of a different place. Different place? Okay. So there's probably more than one island with a shrine. Eventide is a large. Okay, so I'm thinking it's a small island. It's got a shrine on it. That's it. So
Okay.
yes, don't spoil me because I will be playing Breath of the Wild for 24 hours straight for the E3 Extra Life charity event in November. November 3rd starts at noon Pacific Standard
So
Time.
you're planning on playing nothing but Breath of the Wild?
I will be. There will be some other games if certain donation goals are met. For example, if we reach a certain if we raise a certain amount of money for Rady Children's Hospital, we'll pause Zelda for a bit, and I'll buy the new Senran Kagura game. You know, the one with the HD rumble that simulates jiggly pudding breasts and that thigh punching mini game, and we'll play that for a bit. So that's one of the stretch goals I have planned.
Nothing
Also,
like slapping lady thighs in a video game to raise money for children's hospitals.
Exactly, jiggly pudding. So there will be stuff like that. Similarly, we'll take a break and play some Monster Hunter World, and we can I and anyone watching, we can go on a hunt together. Also, one of the donation incentives is if we reach a certain amount of money raised for the hospital, we'll play Just Dance for a bit, and you can see me boogie down to popular music that I probably don't know and might not even recognize. But can I dance? If it's choreographed and if I have time to learn it, then yes, I can dance like a robot that an alien has programmed to mimic human dance.
Nice. Yeah, my kids, they like playing what is it we have? I think it's Just Dance on the PS3 that uses the Move controllers.
Mm-hmm.
And they like playing that.
Yeah,
Occasionally I'll play that with them too, but yeah, I'm not much of a Just Dance fan. I don't
aesthetically or gameplay wise.
I just altogether I don't like playing games that require me to jump around and flail my arms about.
Yeah, I'm a lazy gamer. I just want to sit on the couch and hold a controller. I don't
Yeah.
want to. Yeah. But it's for charity. Also have
Yeah.
some ideas like do you know what an endo board is? It's
Uh,
that it's a piece of wood that you balance on a barrel
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and on it. If you've seen my uh comic review of Archie of the Dead, I think is what it was. I did the review while standing on a endo board. I thought it'd be fun to do a kind of a challenge where it's like, okay, I will play Zelda while balancing on the endo board, and anyone can pledge to pledge a certain amount of money per minute I stay standing on the board, up to 10 minutes or whatever. So if you pledge $2 for every minute I remain standing, and I remain standing for 10 minutes, that's $20 to charity. So some of the things I'm thinking about.
Okay.
Matthew asks, "What do I think of Monster Hunter World being Capcom's best-selling title ever?" Uh, I think it's well deserved because it's a great game.
Yeah.
I haven't played it in a while, although I just saw when I was going to play Yakuza that they apparently have an autumn update. I don't know if there's any new monsters. Problem with some of the new monsters, Devil Joe was great, but most of the monsters that the Teostra recolored with Leostra, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, I haven't bothered playing her because she looks exactly the same. I'm sure she has some different attacks, but I'm like, well, that seems kind of lazy. I mean, she isn't even slightly differently designed. She's just blue instead of red. I was like, eh. Then there's
Yeah.
Kolv Taroth or whatever, the big golden one, but that's a and I did play it, but it's meant for large groups of people. And
Yeah.
then the new one, Behemoth from Final Fantasy, looks neat, but from what I'm reading, it's also one that you really want to play in a group. Um, so
Yeah. And
I
Andrew
haven't played
has
it,
no friends,
and I have no
so
friends.
yeah.
So I was reading, I don't know, somewhere, and I found out today that Iron Fist season 2 released on Netflix,
Yeah,
which
I saw that yesterday, I think.
yeah, I had no idea. Well, yeah, this was last night, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, was that advertised and I missed it, or did they just kind of
Yeah, they
slide that in?
no the release date, it was the 7th,
Yeah,
I
there was
think,
no
was
hype for
the
that. I
yeah,
mean, I
there
saw the
was
trailer, and I'm sure they
pretty
had the
much
date in the
no
trailer.
hype.
I just forgot about it.
Yeah, there was hardly any hype whatsoever in any of the sites that I read. It's like nobody talked about it other than, oh, here's the new trailer or whatever. And but yeah, nobody talked about it in the same way they talked about the new season of Luke Cage leading up to its launch.
Yeah,
um and so yeah, it just kind of dropped. And IO9 says that it's a much improved over the first season.
has nowhere to go
um
but up.
yeah. They said that it does slog a little bit at the front, but the last two episodes are worth it, they said. So,
Well, one thing that I'm really surprised by, and actually very pleasantly surprised by, is the fact that this is the first, other than Defenders, the first Marvel Netflix show to be less than 13 episodes. It's actually only 10 episodes. Like,
yeah.
wow, they finally learned that you don't have to pad it out to 13 episodes.
They probably realized they probably realized that they didn't have 13 episodes worth of material this season.
Never
So they're
stopped
like,
them
well, we're
before.
kind of yeah, it's
None of
true.
the shows is none of the shows have had 13 episodes of material. That I think the best they've had maybe 11,
Yeah.
9, 10, or maybe 11, but no, none of it, all of them have had been a couple episodes too long. So
Yeah.
hopefully this is paced well. I've seen some review titles saying that this one's pretty good. So I don't dislike Iron Fist. I just disliked this iteration of Iron Fist in
Yeah.
his first season. And but they seemed they made him pretty cool in his guest appearance in Luke Cage.
Yeah,
So
which I was sad to see was only one episode. I was very disappointed. I thought it was gonna
yeah,
at least be
I
two.
guess they could only get what's his face for a day.
Yeah.
Well, they probably had him more than that because he's in the entire episode. It's not like he's just in a scene.
Yeah. But it was he had him and Luke Cage had some great fights that episode. So
Those two actors have chemistry, and they did in the Defenders, and I still think Colleen can do so much better than Danny Rand. I mean,
yeah.
I maybe she's just after him for the money, but I get it because that's a lot of money. But yeah. Oh well. I haven't even watched an episode yet.
I haven't watched it yet either. I've been really busy this weekend and haven't had time to do much of anything. So
yeah, I'll get around to it. Okay, so I guess we'll hit some topics before we end the show. So there was going to be a Nintendo Direct earlier this week, but that got preempted by a really bad earthquake. So that sucks. The earthquake, I mean, the Nintendo Direct, we can wait. We can wait for our video game commercials, and that was like, because I wasn't really paying attention to it. I came home. I think the Direct was supposed to be Wednesday, so I came home late that night,
Wednesday,
and I went to Nintendo's site, and the block for the Nintendo Direct wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
What did they air it and just take it off immediately? No, okay. So I went over to Nintendo's YouTube channel, and it wasn't there either. I'm like, well, what in the biscuits? So I go over to Nintendo of America's Twitter, and I found the tweet that says, due to an earthquake, we are postponing the Nintendo Direct. And I went, and my first thought was, why? Because I'm thinking small earthquake, the house rumbles, because we have earthquakes out here in California all the time. So when you say earthquake, I'm thinking like, so what does that have to do with anything? I mean, it's pre-recorded, right? Just hit play, or isn't it already uploaded to your site and scheduled to go? I mean, what's the big deal? And then I looked into it. I'm like, oh, big people killing earthquake. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was delayed. Somebody in one of the local Facebook groups, gaming groups, was complaining about Nintendo and the Direct and everything, and he had put the time down as 4 p.m. Central Time. And I'm like, no, it's 5 p.m. Central Time. And everybody else was like, no, it was delayed because of an earthquake. I'm like, what? And they posted a link to the Kotaku article about it. And but yeah, that was crazy. I was like, well, when I first saw the Direct or the news for the Direct, I was like, well, I'm gonna have to catch that later because I'll be driving during the
I was at work. And I'm thinking, I don't need to see 35 minutes of Super Mario Party. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is it seems like company plans require active God-like things like this to actually change.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a gigantic truck slamming on the brakes. Not going to do any good for the boat. It's just going to keep sliding. Because we've seen a bunch of companies make some announcements and do a few things that really feel like they were probably going to be part of the Nintendo Direct. For example, Capcom surprise dropped a demo for Mega Man 11 the other day. And that feels like that was supposed to be, and you can play it right now. One of those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Square Enix announced chibi version of Final Fantasy 15, Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD.
Yeah, that's coming to the Switch as well as other consoles.
Which feels almost like a Metroid Prime Federation Force like gaff to me. You're getting Final Fantasy 15, and people are like, "Yeah, finally a reason for Cloud to be in Smash Brothers, even though he's not in that game. But yeah, we're getting a great Final Fantasy game. Pocket Edition. What? No,
Yeah.
I don't want the Pocket Edition. No.
Yeah,
If
I
you
know.
can do Doom and Wolfenstein and Skyrim, you can make a crappy version of 15. We understand it won't run as well or look as pretty.
Yeah.
Also, Civilization 6 coming to the Switch at
Yeah,
some
and
point.
that one was kind of an interesting reveal because they 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 released that info, but like there was none of the accompanying text to go along with it or something like that. Like it wasn't a complete announcement.
I didn't even see the
drop.
announcement. I just saw it
Yeah.
reported on from somewhere else. I'm like,
Yeah, well,
well,
they
that
reported on it, and then it's
where'd
just
that
like,
come from?
yeah, it was basically like the logo was revealed, and like no accompanying information along with it at all, and so it felt like they were planning on adding the rest of the information, and then didn't because of the earthquake, but they forgot to turn off the auto publish or something.
Mm.
And that was weird, but something about the Mega Man 11 demo that dropped. Kotaku had wrote about it because they had played the demo,
Mm-hmm.
and they wrote about an interesting change that Capcom has made to Mega Man that makes it apparent, according to the person who wrote the article, it makes it feel like it's not actually a Mega Man game. And if you watch their footage of the demo, it's like when you get to the boss
Oh, is
room.
it the door?
Yeah, you get to the boss room and you jump into the door like you would in a normal Mega Man game. And in a normal Mega Man game, your Mega Man he's stuck in the jump pose and he just kind of slides into the room and then just drops to the floor once he gets into the room. But in this one, you jump in, the door opens, Mega Man drops to the floor and then walks walks in there.
I hate to be petty, but I admit that bugs me too.
Yeah, it's like this was a staple of Mega Man all the way through the Mega Man X games, and
Also, I really wish they'd use the same or at least versions of the various sound effects used for picking up health restore pellets.
yeah,
That's not there anymore. It's just a chime or something. I'm like that.
huh.
It doesn't feel like I'm picking anything up anymore. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
just old and stuck in my ways, but I mean, Mega Man 10 did it. So I downloaded the demo and I played it, and I couldn't beat it. It's too hard.
Oh, really? Wow. I was trying to play Mega
I only
Man
played twice, but
I was trying to play Mega Man 9 the other day, and the furthest I made into, let's see, I played Magma Man's level and made it to the dragon, and I died.
mhm.
And then one of the other ones, I made it to the mid checkpoint where, like, if I died, I went to a checkpoint instead of all the way back to the beginning of the level. And but none of the other levels I tried, I actually made it that far into it. I suck at Mega Man.
Yeah. I only played it twice, but
I played it for like half an hour, and then I realized, oh, I've got this Rush form, and I can call Rush the dog and jump on his back to reach interesting places. That would have come in handy.
yeah,
Previous levels.
here's where I failed and got frustrated and stopped playing. In the second half of the stage, after the mid boss, there is a conveyor belt that you're running against.
Yeah.
So the ground is taking you towards the left side of the screen. The left side of the screen is big whirly blades. So you're trying to run away from the big whirly blades. From the right side of the screen, there are walls coming at you, but the walls have little paths of weak points cut into the wall.
Yeah.
So the idea is to shoot out the weak part of the wall, and then hop up the path to get through the wall before it pushes you into the whirly blades. Right?
Yeah.
The second or third wall has this narrow chimney in the middle of it that you have to shoot it. You have to shoot a block, walk in here, jump up this narrow chimney onto a ledge, shoot another block up here, and then out.
Yeah.
I could not get Mega Man to jump up this narrow chimney.
Hmm.
I and it's and you can like press yourself against a wall to line yourself up, and I just kept bumping up against the corner of the wall next
Yeah.
to it. I could not. Two tries, and I could not get him to jump up there. And I said, "Done. I'm done. I'm playing. I'm going back to Yakuza. I don't have the patience for this."
Wow. Yeah.
Leaf says, "I don't want to have to press jump and shoot with the same thumb. It's super awkward." Oh, would you want shoot to be like on a trigger, index finger, the shoulder button?
Because I'm kind of
Yeah,
used to having,
I mean, I'm since Nintendo,
just
I've
rolling
been
my
doing
thumb.
it.
Yeah, that's
not
a
a problem for me.
pretty standard feature there, I think. But I do understand. If shoot was
Although
a
it does
trigger
allow you
and
to
jump with
completely
your thumb.
remap the buttons, I think, in the options
Yeah.
menu. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
That's
that never bothered me. Firing and rolling my finger to hit the other button. I'm used to that since the NES days. So,
did you
but
try the
yeah, I
slow
can see
down
this.
gear?
Did I? No, I didn't because it wasn't moving too fast for me. I just couldn't get him up. If I kept playing it, maybe I would have tried that, but it didn't seem to be a speed thing. I just jump up the thing, but he
Yeah.
kept hitting on this. I just could not position him in the pixel perfect position to get him to jump up this narrow chimney and onto a ledge and over the other block to clear the gap. He just kept smacking on the corner of the ceiling. And I'm like, all right, screw this. I'm going back to Yakuza. But that's a fair point. No, I didn't try that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Hopefully everything. Everybody's getting taken care of in Japan with the earthquake.
yeah,
That really sucks. And
yeah, that was a big
hopefully-
one too.
Yeah.
So,
But
all right.
yeah.
Moving on. So there was unfortunately a shooting at a game tournament 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there's another game tournament in SoCal, which has, in reaction to the shooting, has upped its own security. It's checking bags and backpacks and purses. So if you bring any of that stuff, they're going to root through your bag, make sure there's no weapons in it. Here's the thing though that I was taken aback by. It says all flight sticks will be thoroughly inspected. This means all guests must be prepared to open their flight sticks, whether they are screwed or latched, before entering the event. It is advised to unscrew, unlatch the bottom or top compartment before arriving. We will start conversations with volunteers in the Arcade Shock to provide complimentary service to help you rescrew your panel. So when I first heard this, I was like thinking of something like this. I mean, obviously not something this old, but I was, I hear flight stick, I'm thinking this. I'm like, but you couldn't hide a gun in here. Were people smuggling weapons in something like this before? Has that ever happened? I mean, trying to get ahead of the game, I understand, but is that even, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, and I think the shooter out in Jacksonville, I think his guns were just in his backpack.
He just brought a gun in. So bag searches make sense. There's also another thing, loose articles of clothing. I'm like, I mean, if I have like a sweater tied around my waist or I'm wearing a large coat or something, I get that. But it's like, I dress in slightly loose fitting clothes because it's how I'm comfortable. I don't need you groping me. This is a game tournament, not an airport. But no, they don't mean this. They mean literally big arcade sticks with the massive with
the big bases
and the buttons and stuff. And some of them are built to actually flip up and come apart. Some of them you need to take a screwdriver to. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, you could have a gun in there, I suppose. Okay, and they did update their policy a little bit later, saying that uh, latched joysticks will be required to be opened, but anything that requires a screwdriver, if it we're going to look at it, and if it looks suspicious, we're making you take it apart. But if it passes a visual inspection, then it's okay. I'm
Yeah.
thinking, okay. And I'm wondering, and it's interesting that the company that's running the place seems to be doing a lot of querying the actual uh, audience, I suppose, on it's like, okay, new security guards, metal detectors, things like that cost money. What do you all think? Where should we spend our money? How should we cover the cost? Should we raise ticket prices? Should we fundraise? Should we sponsorships? Should we do game giveaways? And I like the fact that they're not just making they seem to be genuinely trying to do good here. Uh,
Hmm.
and in fact, that people are like, oh, for crying out loud, it's going to take 2 hours to do anything if you have to unscrew every single flight box or a flight stick box. So I'm
Yeah.
starting to wonder. I'm like, I don't know if any gamers would go for this, but I'm like, what about non-latch, ones that require screwdrivers? It's like, okay, be like a coat check. You check them in, we hold on to them for you, and when it's your turn to play, you get your thing. I don't know. Maybe a lot of gamers would be like, "No, you ain't taking my flight stick. That thing cost me $800. I'm holding on to it. Thank you very much." I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just something I thought of. But really, one of the only reasons to talk about this story is my silly thinking this thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you smuggle a gun in
So
that?
Elite says, are you thinking of a fight stick and not a flight stick? Are you reading?
Let me see if I read that wrong.
Yeah.
Um, yes, fight stick. Sorry. Yeah, I just read that wrong.
Yeah, because I'm just sitting here thinking I'm a flight stick. When I wasn't aware that we had Ace Combat tournaments these days.
That would
Um,
be cool though.
but yeah, I'm kind of
I should do like Euro
iffy
Truck
on.
Simulator tournaments. Great.
I'm kind of uh, not quite on board with this. Yeah, a lot of comparisons with this are with the TSA and
Mm.
how the TSA was put into place in response to a specific event
Hmm.
that things other than the TSA have already made impossible to do again. So, like the TSA, the World Trade Center attack.
Yeah.
We have already secured the cockpit doors. Those cannot be opened from the outside. Passengers and flight crew are no longer willing to sit by and let somebody take them hostage on a flight. All of this has made attacking a plane pretty irrelevant, but the TSA still exists and requires us to take off our shoes and take our laptops out of our backpacks and all of that crap in order to get on the plane.
Hmm.
And it's nothing but security theater. And this is some going as far as requiring you to open up your fight stick is it seems to be a pretty irrelevant thing. The bag checks I can understand, and
Hmm.
because that's just something.
That's how
Yeah,
something like that was brought in. And if the
yeah,
flight stick opens with a latch, that makes sense. Yeah, just
yeah,
open it up. Yeah, the nothing in there. Because otherwise, because like that, it's essentially another bag. But if it's something that's held together with 8 of those damn hex screws, that's man,
yeah,
you really have to work hard at getting a gun out of there. So I think they're. I think I like the fact that they're being proactive. They're
yeah,
trying to come up with. There, my read on this, at least, is it's a genuine good faith effort of increasing security and making it safe.
yeah,
Um, and I agree that the whole we're unscrewing every fight stick. Um, Probably unnecessary and a step too far. So I think the compromise of if it opens with a latch, open it up, we'll take a look. We're going to visually inspect all of them, and if it looks funny, we'll open it up. But if it
Yeah,
looks fine, then it's fine. That seems like a fair compromise to
yeah.
me.
And
Then
the
again, I've never been to a game tournament. I don't play in game tournaments, so
well,
I don't really
and
have the first-hand experience.
from what I understand, this particular tournament is actually a pretty sizable one. So, if everybody had to open up their fight stick going in, that's going to increase check-in times by
Oh
at
yeah,
least 10 minutes per person, probably
yeah.
20
Some lanes
minutes
probably could be
because
2 hours. Yeah.
and then you've got issues of somebody being bumped while they're trying to open their fight stick or close it and losing their screws. Um, One of the other issues that was raised was the possibility of voiding warranties. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so if you had to
Yeah, I
open up
bought
your
it. I
fight
bought
stick,
it for the tournament. I'm returning it on Monday.
well,
Don't void the warranty.
not just that though, but like if your fight stick gets damaged while you're opening it, that could
Mhm.
void the warranty because it was an unauthorized unauthorized
That's a fair point.
thing.
Do they have a mechanism in place to cover any damage done by staff? Unscrewing fight sticks because those things aren't
Yeah,
cheap.
yeah, and if you don't know what you're doing, you could accidentally rip a wire out
Hmm.
and totally screw up your fight stick and make it worthless for
Yeah,
the rest of the fight or the rest of the tournament, and yeah, that wouldn't make somebody very happy.
yeah.
That would tick me off.
But the nice thing is, it seems this company is open to such feedback and is taking this stuff seriously. So Scotty
just
says
make
just make
everybody
sure
use
everyone gets
SNES
the SNES
controllers.
controllers. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and if you're playing a tournament, fighting game that's on the PS3 or the Sony console or Microsoft console, you have the controllers, but people who are serious about fighting game tournaments, they want that arcade fight stick. They don't want to play with a controller because the controller is the standard controller is a suboptimal tool for playing a fighting game.
It's for scrubs.
Um,
Yeah, for
it's like
for anyone
comparing.
interested, it does say that gamepads such as the DualShock 4 and small game controllers are not required to be open, but will still follow visual inspection.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, but it's like the thing play first person shooters. Keyboard and mouse is the proper way to play those over a standard controller. But yeah, and as Leaf says, it's the same reason why the GameCube controller is supported all the way up to Smash Brothers Ultimate. Smash Brothers Ultimate, is getting a GameCube controller for the Switch, and yeah, it's that's the one. That's what people want to play on. They don't want to play on the stupid Switch Joy Cons. So yeah, I'm totally there. I can understand why people love that. They get that specific controller they want to play with, and they don't want to play with anything else. And even going from one fight stick to a different one is a tough call for some people because they don't because certain fights or certain different sticks have different latency on the buttons, different pressure sensitivity. The same thing with the stick itself. So yeah.
yep. So their brains are
Yeah.
hardwired on that one controller. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget. This story's gonna suck because I don't remember the details, but I think one of the Games Done Quick shows, either the last one or the one before. Uh, One of the runners had it's a speed running charity event for anyone who doesn't know. One of the runners was not using their controller for reasons, and something went terribly wrong. It's like, I knew it. It's this controller. um, And it's
Yeah.
like I'm just not performing well because this isn't my controller.
Yeah. Well, and even something as simple as like, playing Minecraft. My son, he he's got we've got these I forget the brand, but they're a third party controller, and they have the analog, the left analog stick and the D-pad swapped from the standard PlayStation layout, and he loves playing on that. And if he can't find those controllers, he will get pretty upset because he does not like playing Minecraft on a standard PS3 controller. And yeah, it's just, some players, they need that, specific controller to be able to play the game the way that they're used to.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm one of those weird gamers who doesn't like playing first person shooters on a mouse and keyboard. I prefer a controller. In fact, I started up what was it? It's still on my desktop. What is it called? Spec Ops: The Line.
mhm.
And I don't know if it doesn't have controller support or if it's just wasn't working when I tried it. And I tried playing it keyboard and mouse. I'm like, no, 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 this ain't working for me.
You just need to get yourself a trackball like I've got, and it makes everything better. Yeah.
I,
Yeah, I've got this, and this is the best thing I've ever gotten for playing on a for doing anything on a computer. I use a one of those weird Mac mice, where it's like doesn't have the actual buttons on there. It's just a completely flat surface with the touch controls on it, and man, it's it's crazy. I don't I can use it just because I know how to use a standard mouse, but I really prefer this trackball.
yeah, I don't want to do, I'm fine on the mouse, I'm fine on the keyboard, but I really don't want to do more with my left hand than WASD. You know,
Yeah.
just don't make me do anything more with the left than walk because I mean, because then you get into, okay, we're movement keys in WASD, and then spacebar is jump, E is the action button for opening doors and stuff. I is the pause button for inventory. Control is the alternate fire mode on the gun. Shift is reload. I'm like, oh god. R is reload. Shift is something. I'm like tying my finger to it. It's not that I can't do it. I just don't wanna. You know?
Just get like a 20 button mouse and rebind the keys. Seriously, man, be a real
Be a
gamer.
real.
And
I'm just one of those
yeah,
fake gamer guys. That can't hack it on the old keyboard and mouse.
yeah,
Only plays uh, match 3 puzzlers, clicking game, and point and click adventures.
yeah. No, man, some of these gaming peripherals for the PC are just insane. Like I've seen some. Um, they look like really, really, really fancy 10 keys, but they have like, they're just basically a gamer's keyboard, and that comes with like I said, a 20 button mouse to go along with it. And I'm just like, seriously? And it's like $400. I'm like, yeah, I'd never buy that. Ugh.
Leaf is he's talking about Star Wars X-wing Alliance, saying, "How do I reroute power to the shields?" Which button you get your keyboard and you start running your hand back and forth over it. It's like it's got to be on there somewhere. I swear to God, I've played a game that one of those games that has 8,000 hotkeys somehow. And I'm like, I need to do an action. I'm like, which button was it that does this? Is it I? Is it P? Is it R? Is it no? And then I'm like, okay, fine. Q, W, E, R, T. You just start going through all the letters. You're like, F1, F2, F3. It's like, which button is it? It's got to be on your side. And you swear you hit every damn button on the keyboard. And it's like, it's got to be one of them.
Yeah, and then it turns out you got to hit Control and then another button. No. Would you prefer a keyboard and mouse or a Joy-Con?
I'm with Leaf. Can I put the Joy-Con in the grip?
I still have not used the Joy-Con, so I couldn't tell you.
Honestly, it depends on the game. But
Yeah,
generally, with the types of games that I like to play, adventures, platformers, shooters, things like that, yeah,
yeah, for
I'd suffer the Joy-Con even if I couldn't put
yeah,
it in the grip. They're not bad controllers. They're not hard to use. They're just not comfortable to me.
yeah. I don't know. Controller and keyboard and mouse just really depends on the game that I'm playing. Because I grew up a console gamer, and I played PC games growing up too, but most of those were, you know,
King's
Warcraft.
Quest. They were for me. They were like
Point and
pure
click
point and click
adventures.
adventures, King's
Yeah,
Quest and stuff.
yeah, point and click adventures. Real time strategy
You know,
games.
the
Those
old
are the
ones
kind
with
of
the
things I
text
played on
parser.
there. Yeah,
Where you had to figure out not just what the designer was thinking, but the exact sentence they were thinking of.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
put the bucket on the table. You had to figure out the verb and the noun and the all
yeah.
the nouns for each object. So it's like, okay, you see a letter on the table and you're like, okay, take letter. I don't understand. Take document. I don't understand. Take memo. I don't understand. Um, pick up letter. I don't understand. Shoot. Get letter. Retrieve letter. Please, I just pick up the goddamn letter. It's there on the desk.
Oh man, it's like and
That's
nowadays it's
real
all
gaming.
yeah.
You kids
Nowadays
today.
it's voice commands and trying to get your phone to understand what you're saying. It's like open up Google.
Oh
I
my
don't
god.
understand.
There,
Yeah,
I remember some of the late '90s, early 2000s attempts at voice activation games. Everything from like Hey You Pikachu to I don't remember what it was called, but it was on the PlayStation. I think it was kind of
yeah,
like a Resident Evil-y type of game in space, and the whole idea of the game, it's the game that's you're giving instead of a controller. No, that's the you have to use your hands. It's like a baby's toy. Um, old movie now. Uh,
yeah,
you talk at the character. Go to the living room, pick up the bullets, and oh my god, something like Hey You Pikachu, whatever,
yeah,
because like what's the game with the big feathery dog? Last Guardian. Because when you yell at the Last Guardian, whatever its name is, the Fido, and it doesn't listen to you, you're like, oh well, it's a dog. Sometimes dogs don't listen. It's not the AI breaking. It's just a stubborn mutt, right?
yeah,
Same thing with Pikachu. Stupid yellow rat. I said, come here. No, he heard you. He understood. No, our voice recognition is great. He just doesn't care. But this other game I'm thinking of on the PlayStation, I think, um, it's like there's a monster trying to eat your face. Please shoot it. Shoot the monster. What?
yeah.
Shoot the monster. What? The monster eating your face. Shoot it. I don't understand. Oh my god, shoot the monster. Why do you need me to tell you to do that? A monster just bit my face. I know. Shoot it. Why didn't you tell me to shoot it? Oh!
Yeah,
What game is that? It's like hmm, I don't remember. It's a really cool idea for a game too, because
yeah,
ostensibly you're like the guy you're playing is a dude who's like trapped in a control room, and
hmm,
so you have access to all the ship's security cameras. So that's why that does the Resident Evil changing camera angle because you're
yeah,
just looking at different camera angles. So you're directing some person running through the space station. It's like, oh, look out behind you. Oh, shoot the monster. Oh, look in the cabinet. Oh, go inspect the bathroom.
yeah,
It's a neat idea. It doesn't work at all, which is a shame because it's such a neat idea. But
yeah.
yeah, I don't even remember what that's called. I bet there's a million Let's Plays of it, and I bet everyone's really frustrated with that game.
I bet. Yeah.
So, we are it's 8:15, so
Yeah.
other topics, but I'm hungry, so we're gonna end the podcast so I can eat dinner.
All right.
Um, so let us plug our things and get out of here. That sounded fakely dirty. Um, so Andrew Eisen here, Eisen is how you spell the last name. Plug it into YouTube, find my YouTube channel, and all weird videos. And the reaction video I did years ago, that seems to be popping up in a few people's lists because I've gotten some comments on that recently. And they tend to be one of two things. One is "Are you really masturbating?" No, no, it's a joke. I'm pantomiming it for a joke. You know the last scene where I'm dead? I'm not actually dead. I'm pretending.
Are you sure you're not dead?
Yeah, I didn't actually OD for the video. I'm not a method actor. Lifeline, Scotty, thank you. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Lifeline. I yeah, I think that's right. Thank you. The voice controlled PlayStation game. I'm pretty. That sounds right. So yeah,
Yeah.
let me do the Google real quick and see because if I see the box art, I'll know. I'll know. No crap. Okay. Lifeline PlayStation. Uh, yes, it was Lifeline. Thank you. Um, the other comment I'm getting is fake.
Fake.
Yes, it is. Did, did did you think you uncovered a big secret here? It's like, did you walk out of Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and go fake?
Fake. Yeah.
The dinosaur movie, yeah, you got him. It was fake. It was all actors and CG dinosaurs and puppets and stuff. And my video was indeed fake. I didn't actually die in it. I'm. It's just well, I need to do a let's play. No one needs to do a let's play a Lifeline. Besides, I think that's a PlayStation game, and I don't have a PlayStation. Although it's probably available on one of the later systems via backwards compatibility. But I don't have the headset for it either. So
That's true. I wonder if you could. If it's a PlayStation 1 game. I wonder if it's possible to use just a standard headset from a PlayStation
it's a PS.
4.
It looks like it's a PS2 game.
Okay, then yeah, you're probably not going to be able to play that on any of the modern consoles. So
Yeah, I have a PS2. No, PS2's at mom's. So sorry. Besides, I really don't want to play it. It's more fun to talk about than it is to play.
yeah.
So
Well, there's a lot of games like that. Yeah.
yeah, there are games that are bad but still fun to play, and then there are games that are bad and are fun to talk about, but just not fun to play.
Yeah.
That one's just frustrating. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so the stuff you see on YouTube is fake. It's a skit. I think all reaction videos, at least to some extent, are fake.
Yeah.
Because the fact that you're being recorded. I mean, unless someone snuck into the room and was secretly filming you.
Yeah.
I don't know about anyone else, but if I'm alone, I don't go woo. I don't go woo in public, but I definitely I can't imagine that. You see reaction videos. Oh my God, Smash Brothers or something like that. I'm like, would you honestly be reacting exactly like that
Yeah.
if there wasn't a camera on you right now? And no shame. I'm not, condemning you for that. You're doing a fun video. People like watching that stuff. Totally fine. But I I don't do that, so I naturally think that nobody does that. I've done a few reaction videos to to Nintendo stuff, and
Yeah.
that's genuinely my reaction. Um, that's how I react to stuff, even to stuff that I'm like, oh sweet, that's super cool, but that's internal voice. I don't
Yeah.
say that out loud because there's nobody here, you know. Um, I do laugh if I find something funny, but
Yeah.
anyway, follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen. Zachary, plug away.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Easy Night, where I talk about gaming and politics and other things. You can follow my game development work at DK_gaming on Twitter, DivineKnightGaming.com. And if you're interested in the Oklahoma game development scene, you can check out OK Game Devs on Twitter and OKGameDev.com.
All right. Also within the collage of Lifeline box arts that I pulled up is the box art for Rogue Ops, which was a game that was on the PS2 and GameCube and probably the Xbox at the time, which was I actually have that one. I liked that game. It's kind of a knockoff Sam Fisher. What was that series called? Splinter Cell. It was a kind of a knockoff Splinter Cell or Metal Gear Solid kind of game. You play a
Yeah.
spy who infiltrates places and sneaks around. I thought it was pretty good. Um, that's neither here nor there. I can just see a box art of it in the image collage in the background there. So anyway, thank you all. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you again next
All
week.
right.
Take care,
See ya.
everyone.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye.